Exclamation, everybody, and welcome to another channel update. This one for December of 2019. It's been a while, friends. It's been quite a while since I've sat down and done a channel update of any sort. Not that there hasn't been a lot going on, it's just busyness, the end of the year stuff, and I do miss having sort of a very I don't know what you would call it. I was going to say unscripted, but pretty much nothing I do is scripted. So I guess it's more like having a no set plan going in, just basically chit-chatting for a little bit. It's kind of nice. The game going on around me is Horizon Chase Turbo, if you're wondering. So what's been going on with the channel and what's been happening behind the scenes and what's going on? I like to, for those who might be new to the channel, I like to do this every so often just to kind of peel back the curtain, as it were, and you know, just talk shop a little bit, talk about some of the things going on that you don't see on the channel, and just generally just have a little bit of catharsis, I guess, too, at points. So I'll basically ramble on until I feel like I've rambled on for too long, and then I'll continue rambling on a little bit even further than that. But what I like to do, though, is start off with some statistics around the channel. So as far as YouTube is concerned, and I'm just gonna pull it up here so I can give you the fresh off the presses numbers here. I have 557 subscribers over on the YouTube channel. It's been, you know, dipping between 557 and 558 here and there, but basically pretty much staying stable there. And I've got, why doesn't it tell me watch time anymore? It kind of does, but it's telling me in hours, 169.2 in the last 28 days is what it's saying for watch time, which that seems weird and odd to me. So I don't know that those numbers are correct, but that's what it's telling me. So we're doing pretty good over there. I think a lot of that just has to do with the fact that most of the gaming YouTubers are putting less content out and are focusing entirely on streaming. And I've been doing something similar. I've been trying to focus as much as I can on streaming, and I've, a little bit to my own chagrin, I've dipped into the same thing that a lot of YouTubers are doing now that are in the gaming sphere, and that is just kind of throwing live streams up or pre-recording the VODs from live streams up, largely unedited, onto the channel. There's multiple schools of thought with that. One is to put them up the way that I've been doing, which is just kind of throw the entire session up there. I've also tried from time to time just breaking up into maybe hour-long sessions, and I don't know, I'm torn between the two. I know some of the YouTubers, streamers that I follow kind of do it both ways. Some put up the entire stream, you know, 2-3 hours, whatever it is, and others will break it up into half-hour segments and just keep putting up half-hour segments, just one after the other. And others will put up like 6 or 7 videos a day where they just broke them up into half-hour segments, which I think is a little bit overkill. That's kind of just begging YouTube to bury it, and it actually does. I've noticed that I only get maybe one notification about their videos when they put up like 10 or 11 of them, and then you kind of have to follow the breadcrumbs to find, you know, what number you left off at and all that stuff. So I won't be doing anything like that, but I have been kind of just putting up the largely unedited live stream stuff You've been seeing that mostly with the when it comes to what is it, the Outer Worlds. I've been doing it just putting up the entire session, 2 or 3 hours, whatever it is. Prior to that, a few other games I've done, I would break it up into like an hour. I don't know which one is better or worse. I feel like I could just kind of throw the entire session up there and then just leave it. Like, I don't necessarily, when I was breaking it up into hour sessions, I was doing that because I could then have it uploaded in sort of a more consistent fashion where I could do 2 or 3 uploads a week of it, be it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, that kind of thing. Honestly, I don't know that actually matters. I feel like I could just put the entire stream up and it's just there, and you just watch it whenever. You can watch it in pieces, watch it in full, whatever. It doesn't really matter. There's so much content on YouTube. It honestly is going to get buried pretty quickly anyway, regardless of what I do with it. So I'm kind of throwing that out there. If anyone prefers the hour, breaking them up into segments, or prefers just seeing the entire thing, we'll see what happens. I've also thought about possibly adding the YouTube channel into my restream thing, so that I will actually go live on YouTube in addition to everything else. The reason I stopped doing that, well, one, I had a different channel, Memory League Doom, for the streams, and I did that because I didn't want to cross the streams between things that were edited and things that were just plain old live streams. Now it feels like, since I'm doing much more live streaming, and that seems to be the way that everyone's doing it now, it feels like there's hardly any difference, because the editing that I'm doing is mostly just editing for time more than anything else. So I'm debating whether or not to open up the live streams on the main channel, and then that way they go live immediately, rather than you having to wait for me to actually go and what am I trying to say? Go and convert them and all that stuff. The only downfall to that is that it's render them, is what I was trying to say. The downfall to that is that you'll get them at 720p instead of 1080p, 720p 60. Whereas the way I do it now is I record as I'm streaming, and so you're getting the full 1080p when I put it up on YouTube. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn between the two. Should I continue to do what I'm doing and just let it render overnight like I do, or should I, because the downfall of doing that is that I'm going to always be behind, because it takes, a 3-hour live stream for me generally takes about 7 hours to render, usually on the older computer anyway. On the newer computer, it's actually a little bit faster. Although with the new Vegas 17, it's actually been a lot faster. So I just need to get that over on the other computer. The other one's using version 15 still. So that might help things too. I'm looking at that. But yeah, I'll just kind of throw that out there and see if anyone has any strong opinions on it. Either way, I'm just going to try what I can. The other thing that I've noticed, I've heard about on the YouTubes, and this has probably been going on for a while, because there's been such a shift towards doing gameplay stuff on live streaming services. There's been more of an emphasis on face cams on YouTube, more than there ever was before. Used to be able to just kind of get away with just editing something and not really having to put a face cam up. And now, because live streaming popularized it, it seems to be more and more the case that people want to see that on YouTube as well, even if it's just something that I haven't streamed. It's just an edited video. So I'm thinking about doing that as well, doing it in a similar format to what you're seeing here, where it's just my face and not the full overlay. I'll have to. I mean, it's going to be one of those things where I'll have to move my face around all the time, but I guess it won't be quite as bad on pre-recorded stuff, because I'll be able to know ahead of time, and I'll be able to actually move it around and edit out when I've moved it around and all that stuff if necessary, that kind of thing, when I'm just recording locally instead of live streaming. Because I don't necessarily want to live stream everything I do. I am live streaming more than I ever have. But there's some things where I just kind of I just want to sit down and just record something for like an hour or two. I feel like when I sit down and do a live stream, I feel like I'm almost obligated to be there for, 2.5, 3 hours at a time. Whereas when you're doing like a normal recording that you're going to edit later on, I might just go for an hour or an hour and a half. And it's actually a little less stressful, because I don't feel like I need to be talking every second of it, because I know I'll just probably go and edit out any times when I'm really quiet or something like that. So I will see what's going to go on that. I'll probably test that out with a game a little bit later in the month, maybe this month, probably, because I'll have a nice long vacation coming up, which is much needed, let me tell you. And so I'll have some time probably to record some more things. The series that I currently have going on, I'm probably not going to do that on unless they were live streams in the first place. So Star Trek Away Team will still be the same format it's in, and Star Trek, what's the name of it? Starfleet Command. Those were from live streams, so I just need to get back to that. So that'll be still in the same format. Outer Worlds will still be in the same format. The next game that I do, where I actually record it offline, I will probably do it as in this format where I've got the face cam on and stuff, and we'll see what happens. I'm not sure exactly what that will be. There's a couple games I have in mind that I'd like to get back to. There's also a couple games I'd like to get back to streaming, or at least streaming. I don't. The Mass Effect series I'd like to revisit, much like I did earlier this year, where I went through and did all of the Uncharted series. I'd like to go through and do most of the Mass Effect series, and by most I mean Mass Effect 1 and 2. I don't have any real desire to play 3. And Andromeda, I played 2.5 to 3 hours of that and was done with it. So I don't really feel the need to go back to that. Borderlands 3 I need to get back to as well. I just kind of lost interest in it, which is weird, because I'm really good. I'm really good at. I really like the Borderlands series. It's just kind of lost a little bit of interest to me. And I still have to finish Borderlands 2 as well. I mean, I went for quite a long time in that, and I still have plans to finish the Borderlands series. I haven't done the pre-sequel yet either. Although I've been told that that's the weakest one of the bunch. But I still want to say that I've completed those series. I mean, I did the same thing with the Uncharted series. There is, there's rumors, and I don't know when this is going to be a thing, but there's rumors that Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be coming out on the PC. And those of you who have followed the channel for a little bit of time know that I love that game. Played it all the way through on the PS4. In fact, prior to the DLCs, I got the Platinum Trophy for doing 100% of the game. And I've actually been debating for quite a while to go back to it and do a New Game Plus at a higher difficulty. But if the rumors are true and they're going to come to PC, then I'll hold off on doing the New Game Plus until it comes to PC. And actually, I imagine I'll have to do it, just do the regular game regular game from the beginning again, because they might not. I doubt they'll pull over, your save games and stuff like that. But we'll see. They're very, very unconfirmed rumors, so I have no idea. And I would not know. There was no time frame or anything that was put on there. The other thing is, too, something a little bit more realistic, is I've been wanting to revisit Halo 3 ODST. It's a game that I played on my own well before the channel was ever a thing, and played on the Xbox 360. And I've had the Master Chief Collection on Xbox One for ages now. I just haven't really sat down and played it. And I still have my original copy of ODST, which sounds like to me, based on some of the PC remakes that are happening and stuff, that I'd probably have a better experience just revisiting the 360 version of it, because the music and sound effects are all going to work properly and all that stuff. And I think it's even supported on backwards compatibility even. But in either case, I can do that, or I can do the Master Chief Collection version, which I have on the Xbox One. And I'd like to do another playthrough of that. I feel like that's the one game in the series that I super enjoyed. Like, I really, really liked the story of that. I like the story of Reach too, and I might play Reach again as well. I've been thinking about playing the PC version of it, but honestly, I feel like I would have a better time just playing the version I already have on the console for that. As much as I love the idea of having a PC version, I'm on the fence of whether I want to pay full price for it, or if I want to just wait until it comes down in price. I feel like, since I own a copy of those actually twice over since I got the Master Chief Collection, I feel like I don't need to spend the full price on it. I feel like I should get it, for a discount if it's out on a discount. So we'll see on that. Those have been two of the things that I've been kind of rattling around in my brain a little bit. And honestly, I would like to get the Master Chief Collection on PC, just to see if I could even attempt the multiplayer. I've never been good at multiplayer anything, particularly going to be really bad at Halo, but I feel like it's one of those things where I might be, even though I'll be really bad at it, I might personally be able to tolerate how bad I am at it, because a lot of times when I'm really bad at these FPS games, I get frustrated with how bad I am, and I just don't want to deal with them anymore, like your Call of Duties and stuff like that. But I feel like Halo, I could probably, even though I'll be absolutely horrible and horrendous at it, I feel like I'll still be able to tolerate my own ineptitude and still enjoy myself, even though I'd be completely terrible at it. We'll see. I kind of have to play with that a little bit off camera first to see if it's something that I can deal with or not. But I've been thinking about it. It's been on my brain. The problem is that that's one of those things where I'm not sure. Like, there's a big part of me that's like, you should really stream that, and then there's a big part of me that's like, you really shouldn't stream that because it's going to bring the wrong crowds in, right? Because those kinds of things are just going to draw a crowd that is just absolutely insufferable, and that's kind of what I worry about. It's why I lean more towards indie games, because people who come to watch you play an indie game are usually a little bit more open-minded, a little less whiny than your typical, say, first-person shooter crowd kind of thing. And especially since a lot of people will come looking for someone who's actually good at the game, and I'm not. I never am. I'm not good at any games. So we'll see how that fleshes out. It depends on how I feel with that game as to whether or not I'd want to stream it. But I also have been debating going back to Warframe, at least trying Warframe again. Honestly, there's a lot of MMOs that I just want to jump back into. Warframe has always been kind of a hit or miss for me, because I came to it so late, and it's got so many idiosyncrasies about it that I feel like I just can't understand half of what's going on, and I kind of lose. I kind of get frustrated with it because I just can't quite grasp everything that's happening and what I need to do and why I'm doing it and all that stuff. There's also Destiny 2, which I never finished the storyline for. I should probably get back to that too at some point and try to finish the storyline of Destiny 2. Did I don't know if I don't think I streamed that. I think I was doing that locally. That's another one where I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to stream this or not because of the kind of crowd it would attract. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's on the horizon for that stuff. And since we're talking about streaming, I probably should jump over and give you some statistics about what the stream's been doing so far. So I employ Restream to stream to multiple services. That way everybody can be comfortable watching it with whatever device they would normally watch it with. I prefer Mixer, but I know that a lot of people don't like Mixer because they can't watch it on their mobile. Well, I mean, you can, but it's, too many people don't want to go download something that's easy to download. Or you can't watch it on your TV, which is a known issue. So I've been streaming to Twitch, to Mixer, to DLive just to try it out, and to Caffeine, which is another one that is just kind of starting out and trying to get its legs. And so statistics-wise, on Mixer, I have 106 followers and 975 total channel views. It's been very, very stable. Haven't really got anything new going on over there. It's been pretty empty ever since we got some bigger streamers, and honestly, it's still dominated by your battle royales and stuff like that, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's going to be a problem for every service that doesn't have millions upon millions of people watching it, and that's true of all these other services that I stream to. And as far as Twitch is concerned, I'm at 66 followers over there, and I pretty much have all the requirements for affiliate except for concurrent viewers. You need like 3 concurrent viewers, and I have like 0.6. So thank you to that 2/3 of a person. But I have no desire or plans to even attempt to be affiliate or anything on Twitch. I really have an irrational dislike of Twitch in general, and I really don't want to. I really don't want anything to do with the way that they deal with their streamers. I like being able to stream to multiple services, and I don't like that they insist that you only stream to them, and they put all these sort of unreasonable requirements on you and stuff. And I'm not big enough that I could dictate my own terms like a lot of the bigger streamers do. So not gonna. That's just for informational purposes more than anything else. And it's really just to get the stream out there. get my face out there to a larger crowd more than anything else, and maybe we can draw a few of them over to more friendly platforms, perhaps. DLive, I have, I believe, 4 followers. It doesn't really tell me easily. It's probably buried somewhere here, I imagine, but I can't. I don't see it immediately. So I believe I only have like 4 or 5 followers over there. That's been mostly Deadsville, as you might imagine. And Caffeine, I have a, what is it, 200, oh wow, it actually disappears on you. I believe it was 227. Their site is weird. The thing's just, like, a number that was there has now disappeared. It's just funny. 227 followers over there. Caffeine is very, very miss and very hit sometimes. That actually is out of the private alpha that it was in, or closed alpha that it was in, and it's now available for everyone to go on there, and you don't have to sign up anymore. You don't have to register an account or anything. You can actually see streams and everything going on without one. You know, it's not behind doesn't force you to register, which is a step in the right direction. They still are terrible at communicating with their actual community and their streamers, so I have no idea what they're doing other than just kind of sitting there doing nothing, seemingly. The service has largely not changed. They did do a complete UI overhaul that looks like they obviously hired the lowest paid place they could find, the lowest bidder, because it's just a mess of colors and things that, you know, just don't make any sense. And it's still, the page is still, you know, one of the biggest problems is that you get buried very easily on their site. I mean, very, very easily on the site. And it's still a problem. They still dominate the page with either blue check marks or Caffeine themselves. They have a channel that they're running nearly 24/7 that just takes all the views, and really nobody goes anywhere else. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they still insist upon not letting you set what game you're playing. They have a big old search bar, top center, you know, that you can search for games, but the only games you're going to find are the ones that have been auto-detected by the software that you use to stream with. And if you're using that software to stream off of OBS, so that you can stream anything you want and not just the things that they support, that doesn't work. So you come up as not playing a game or not having any game associated with it. So you're effectively still buried. And all it takes, I mean, they made changes to their app. All it takes is just adding one more field in there that says game name, and just let us type the freaking game name in there. They don't want to do that for some reason. Probably because they have no idea how to run a live service, a live streaming service that's focused on gaming. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I feel like the biggest problem with Caffeine is that no one there has ever looked at their competitors to see what they're doing. They're insisting upon, you know, flying off in their own direction, and they're missing even the most basic of things that any streamer is looking for, that we can get anywhere else for no problem. I mean, there's no analytics, there's no, I can't set the game name. In order to get any kind of, we get emails that say, oh, this number of people who saw your stream, and this is how long you stream for, and that's about it. They have a caster program that I qualified for the first time, the first 3 months that came out for, and then I no longer qualified for it because they changed it subtly enough that I would no longer qualify for it. Not that I'm saying that there's any conspiracy or not, but they did change it just slightly, just enough that I wouldn't qualify for it, because you have to put so many. They now insist that you put so many hours in a week, and hey, I work for a living. That's not going to happen. So you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. You know, and it doesn't actually help anyway. It's supposedly there to try to help you get visibility, but the blue check marks still dominate the site. So it's like you can have as many you could have 5 casters on at one time, and none of them will be even on the homepage, because it'll just be all blue check marks and the caffeine channel running. So you know, it's really as pointless as it could possibly be, and so that's why I haven't been really concerned about it. Honestly, if they want to compete in this with their product, they really need to start dog fooding, and they need to really start looking out at other products and actually communicating their I mean, they barely communicate at all. There's a whole Discord that a lot of the casters are on, and there's seemingly no staff there, and they don't communicate on it. I mean, they've got this perfect platform to communicate on. They don't let us know what things are coming up, what's planned. They barely have made any changes to their app in over 2 years. They're still insisting on. I mean, the app is nice in that it does have an overlay, and I see what they're trying to do with it. Like, having that overlay is really cool. Like, if you don't have multiple monitors and stuff, or multiple computers like me, you know, that overlay is fantastic. But it's limiting them in ways that they shouldn't be limited in. There's little things they can do that would solve all that problem immediately. They really need to get someone who isn't colorblind to redo their site so that it's not as terrible looking as it is right now. I mean, they did a redesign, and it's the most horrible site I've ever seen in my life. It's almost as bad as the dawn of the Infinite Scroll. Yeah, I mean, they need to, maybe put a newsletter out or something, or at least do something. They're in many ways worse than YouTube in actually communicating what the hell they're doing behind the scenes. And I suspect they're not doing a whole lot, because there is no evidence that they've been working on the platform at all. To my sensibilities, they are yet another one of those Silicon Valley VC funded things that are they're just holding it together enough to get all this VC funding and drain, just get a paycheck from them, and they're not really committed to competing. They're doing just enough to keep the VCs paying them, and that's about it. I don't think that they're going to go anywhere. I'd be happy to be proven wrong, but they're not striking me as a real true competitor. They had a good idea where they were like, oh, we're going to bring in, like Twitch is doing this thing where you can stream like a TV show or something, although they're doing it in the worst possible way, and then you sit there with your community. And actually, Caffeine is doing something similar with Fox Sports. You can sit there and co-stream with Fox Sports and actually have your webcam up and actually communicate with your followers and all that stuff. And just like, it's a good idea. There's a lot of things, like if they could, like, hell, man, if I could get the rights to stream like Star Trek, or even like if it's an old Star Trek, or just Star Trek Picard or anything like that, man, I would do that in a second. I'd sit there and have a stream of that and communicate with the community and all that stuff. I mean, I would love to do that. That'll never happen because I'll never get permission to do anything like that. But that kind of thing would be fantastic. You just imagine the communities that could spawn up around that kind of thing. Popular TV shows, even sports, popular sports and stuff like that. So it's a good idea. It's just it requires someone to actually, with the kind of power and pull of like a Twitch, to sit down and actually do it. Unfortunately, Twitch is not doing it in a way that I think is going to actually be viable to anybody. I mean, because you can't stream. Your stream is off. The only thing you're doing is having a shared chat room, which I get what they're going at, because they don't want to. Technically, people might start claiming fair use if they can put their own face over a stream, kind of thing. But it's, I mean, that's a stretch and a half. That's really not true. But it's, yeah, I imagine they're sending that feature out to die. I can't imagine that taking off in its current form. But then again, stranger things have happened, as always. And back to, since I kind of skipped it, back to the video sharing platforms. So YouTube has been circling a drain for the last 2 years or so. Still going to ride that puppy all the way down. I have no plans of stopping that. I have slowed down a bit on the videos, mostly because I've been streaming more, and also because I've been busy with the sort of life things, trying to get some personal things sorted out. 2019's been a really unfortunate year in many respects. It's also been kind of a wake-up year as well, where I've been trying to get some, I've been doing the old online dating thing and all that stuff, and trying to get some traction behind a few things in the old personal life that I've been procrastinating on, and having my mom die early, back in January, kind of lit a fire under my ass a little bit about a few things, kind of, sort of, to a certain extent. So I've been a little bit more distracted than usual, and a little less active on the YouTubes while I work on some personal development, as it were. So I've been kind of doing some of that and trying to refocus a little bit. Just today I put out a video that I've been wanting to do a similar video to for a long time. Not necessarily in this form, but something very similar to it, where I actually just sit down and program something. In this case, I found an open source game that people were asking for help with, and I thought, let's just sit down. And it's written in Java, and it's like, well, okay, it kind of teed it up for me. So let's sit down and see if I can code review and also improve upon that game. My initial intention with doing some of the programming stuff was to, I wanted to grab an emulator, like one of the like task emulators that actually shows you the code that's running and stuff, and I wanted to load up, like, say, Super Mario Brothers for the NES or something like that, and look at the actual code that's running and try to do that myself in Java, probably, because everyone will laugh at you when you do it in Java, so why not get a laugh out of it. And that was my initial thought, and I still kind of want to do that. Like, I want to see if I could, hey, let's look at the code that was actually written for, Super Mario Bros. On the NES, and let's see if I could actually write a modern version of it using the sprites and the data from the dumped ROM, but writing the code myself, or at least translating the code from assembly to Java or something like that. And I still have a thought that I want to do that. It's just, this was a little bit lower hanging fruit. I mean, that takes a lot of effort to, that takes a lot of, not effort, but a lot of investigation. That's the word I'm looking for, because you gotta really, because it's, my problem is trying to reverse engineer something requires a lot of experience that I don't necessarily have. I don't have the experience in disassembling things so much. I mean, I know assembly, and I've written assembly, and I know machine language, but I'll give you an example. I earlier this year was looking at the code for Star Crusader, one of my favoriteest DOS games, and I played it on the channel ages ago. I actually played it, both branches of it, both the Goreen ending and both endings, I should say, Goreen ending and the Alien Alliance ending on it, because I love it so much. And I had a thought that I would try and disassemble it, figure out how it was put together, and maybe possibly try to remake it so that it works in Windows, right? Because it's all the nice thing about those old DOS games is they are not hardware accelerated. So if I wanted to just do a software render, I could do a software render. I don't have to necessarily learn Unity or anything like that. I could just, pull it out as is and have it be able to render stuff and still be usable, right? Because computers are much more powerful now that, a software renderer is not as taxing as it would have been back then. But what the problem I run into with that is, since it's a DOS executables on Windows and DOS are have multiple segments, and you've got your code segment and you've got your data segments in there, and trying to figure out the difference between what's code and what's data is not as easy on those as it is, say, in a dumped ROM from an NES or something like that. It's still, even in those cases, it's still a little bit difficult, but it's not quite as difficult as it is when you deal with segments like you do in DOS, because I could point disassemblers at it, and the first thing the disassembler says to me is, okay, what's the code, and where's the code segment start? And it's like, well, I don't know. I guess I gotta have to look at a hex editor and see if I can figure out where the code segment starts here, and what's data and what isn't. And a lot of those EXEs are kind of a mishmash of code and data segments, because they're, that's just how they are. It's how the linkers worked and stuff when they were creating EXE. So a lot of the work there is trying to figure out what is code and what isn't. And once you figure out what is code, then it becomes a matter of, okay, now let's try and reassemble this into something, try to figure out what this is doing. And if I could do that reliably, I'd be all set. That's the point where I fail a lot, because I don't have the experience doing that. And the tools I've been using actually NSA of all places. The NSA has a tool that allows you to kind of disassemble code, and it's pretty good at determining what's code and what's data. But even trying to use that, I wasn't having a whole lot of luck, and it was just, if I really put my brain to it, and by that I mean if I spent 1,000 hours looking at it, I could probably pull something out of it. But what I really need is someone who's actually experienced in doing that to like give me pointers on how to actually do it, because it's still baffling to me. It's back in when you had the DOS days, you had EXEs and you had COM files, and the one cool thing about COM files was you only had one data segment and one code segment, so it was easy to disassemble those, but you don't see too many of those because you were limited to 640K memory of DOS. You couldn't do an extend. You couldn't put DOS into extended mode for that. So that's when the EXEs came along, where you had multiple code segments, multiple data segments, and you could address much more memory and stuff, because it didn't have to put DOS didn't have to load the entire EXE into memory. It only had to load the segments that you needed into memory. That's the whole point of it. It's the whole point of the segmentation. This obviously is an EXE, and I was having problems with it, and I was like, I would love to do this, but it's more work than I have the time to put in. Trying to do that, and also write, and also record videos and do live streaming and stuff. The time just wasn't there yet. So we'll see if I can revisit that at some point. But honestly, if I do, it would be probably looking at the NES and trying to replicate stuff in there, and doing what I've been doing already with the with this Open Vehicular Epic game. There's a lot of work to be done there, a lot of work, and I've got about 3 episodes recorded. I actually sat down yesterday and I put in pretty much 8 hours and just recorded myself just going through that and trying to fix it up, and it's got at least, I would say, maybe 200 hours more of work that it needs before it can be into a state where it will actually be able to be worked on by multiple people and all that stuff. It's in a pretty dire strait there. There's a lot of little things that have to happen with it, but still feeling good about that. I'll be putting those videos up as we go. We got the first video up today, which was about 2 hours. The other videos, I'm going to try to keep them to like an hour. I've been editing as ruthlessly as I can, but I'm trying not to edit out like good information. And there was a lot of good information, and in that first episode, that's why it was so long as it was. But the third episode, I actually get something working. Well, I actually have a small victory where I get some tests working, and I get some external strings going and stuff like that. So even though it was all the interesting thing there was it was all new code that I did, not existing code. So it was kind of a cheat in that I had my victory because I just wrote my own code rather than trying to fix up what was there. But sometimes you just need a small win to keep you going. So yeah, as far as other content is concerned, playing more stuff. I will like to revisit some of the series that I haven't finished. Borderlands 3, Borderlands 2 maybe at some point, and I don't know, was I putting Borderlands 2 up on the channel? I have to look and see. It's been so long since I played Borderlands 2, I don't remember if I was even uploading that on the channel or not, or if I was just doing that as a stream. I'll have to look back and see. The new YouTube manager is a freaking nightmare and a half. When I copy and paste the description in, and it double spaces everything because that's exactly what I wanted, and then I have to fix that up, and then when you select a playlist to put something in, it will unselect it, and then you have to select it, and then it will unselect it, and you have to select it, and it will unselect it, and then finally, after like the 3rd or 4th time of selecting it, the selection will stay long enough for you to hit done on it. It's just freaking so stupid. And for whatever reason, and I don't know why this is, BitChute is broken again. It's not uploading it's not syncing my videos. BitChute is not syncing my videos with YouTube. Last time it synced anything was December 2nd. I don't know why that is. They're constantly having problems with that syncing. And it seems like they have no real desire to actually keep it working. At least not for schlubs like me, I guess. I'm not acerbic enough to have my YouTube sync work. So I am working on just manually uploading things as I can. what I'm doing is just re-encoding them in Handbrake so that they're a little bit smaller, and then just uploading them there. I have over there 15 subscribers. That's decent, and I'm getting between 20 and 30 views per video, so that might be the way to go. I'm still going to keep doing YouTube, but you know, it looks like some of these other sites are actually starting to pick up. So I'm going to keep uploading there, and also over on DTube, doing good stuff over there too. Like I can't tell you how many views I have because they don't tell you on the main page here, but they do show you, like I do see some cryptocurrency coming in pretty much on every video. I'm getting at least a little bit of currency, a little bit of upvotes, because when people upvote you, they actually give you, they actually exchange bitcoins and stuff. It's not bitcoins, it's DTube coins, but you know what I mean, cryptocurrency. So you can actually directly support you basically every time you upvote, you directly support the person that you're upvoting, which is kind of cool. And things have been doing good over there, pretty good, I would say. I would tell you how many subscribers I have over there, but last time I looked, it was I think 3 or 4. I can't really tell right now because their site's having some issues, but that's been doing pretty good there too. Apologies if you were following me on lbry or speech, which are both one and the same. I have fallen behind on the uploads there by a lot, by about 2 months. It's just trying to get things out to the YouTubes, and then also trying to then throw Handbrake up and get all the things re-rendered and sized down so that they fit on these other sites has been a bit of a bear, but I am catching up a little bit, and I will be putting things up there shortly, trying to do a little bit of a catch up on there with the videos. So apologies if you were over there following me and wondering what happened to all the content. They do have a YouTube sync as well, but I think they only sync up to 2-hour videos and 2 gigs or 2 gigs. But if you upload directly, I've uploaded 3-hour videos directly and stuff like that. So it's better if I just upload them myself than to let them try to sync it up, I guess. And apparently I can't turn it on. I can't turn the sync on now that I've had a channel. Like, it'll basically erase the channel or something and then start over again. It's weird. But to be fair to them, they have other technical difficulties technical challenges that they have to deal with than just that. So I can't fault them for having a janky sync, because I can't fault BitChute for having a janky sync either, apparently. So that's where we stand on all that content and everything, and I mean, that's where we stand on everything right now. We're coming to the end of the recorded footage I have here, so I think I should probably wrap this up, most likely. And I just want to say thank you, everybody, for hanging out on the channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching me on the live streams. I do want to make a point to say that I do have a Discord, but there is no chat enabled on the Discord. You can see the Discord link in the description, and also you can see it when we on my end slates that I put up for the videos and stuff. I do that just because I know a lot of people are using Discord, and it's since most people are probably in 500 different Discord servers, it seemed prudent to just be like, all right, well, you know, I'll do a Discord server, but I don't have the time to moderate chat or anything like that. So I've been, since I don't have that time, I just do it more as a notification thing, so you can look at it and go, oh, I want to, I just want to know when, if you don't want to follow me on Twitter or something like that, I want to know when a video goes up, I want to know when you're live streaming. that's what you can use it for. There's a on the welcome page that it takes you to. You can react to the thing there, and it will automatically sign you up for automatically give you a role, which will then give you a notification. I don't do an at everyone on there. I just have a special role notification that you can get, that you can sign up for automatically by reacting to the welcome message, and it will then you'll get a notification whenever I tweet anything, or whenever I go live, or whenever I upload a video. So if you want that, if that's a better way of notifying you when things are happening, by all means. Like I said, the invite link, the permanent invite link, is down in the description of my videos and of this video, and you can also see it on my end slates as well if you'd rather type it in yourself. That, I think, about covers everything. People have asked whether or not I'm going to open up a chat channel on there. I'm not sure yet. I might do like the stream chat thing, because since I use Restream, I have the bot that will actually link with Discord and restream everybody, so it'll actually make it so that regardless of what platform you're on, everybody can talk to one another. And it looks like they've improved it so that it doesn't actually show up as me saying the words. It actually shows up as the person who's saying it. Or it shows up as Restream bot, I think, which is much better, so it doesn't look like I'm doing it. So I might re-enable that, and I might put a stream chat in there, just so that if you wanted to chat about things, we could do it there. But like I said, I have no real plans to open up like a general chat or anything like that, because I don't have the time to moderate it, and most of the time when I'm on Discord, I'm usually like at work or something. You know what I mean? And so I don't necessarily have free time to sit there and chat away about things. So that's just the unfortunate way of life there. If you really do want to chat with a lot of like-minded people, I would suggest, as I always do, going over to the Space Game Junkie Discord and hanging out there, because there's a lot of chatting going on over there. There's a lot of good people over there, and I hang out there. I lurk over there quite a bit. So just go to spacegamejunkie.com, and there's a link to his Discord there. It's good people. There's good people there. They really haven't had any problems with anyone being obnoxious or anything like that. So that's why I tend to hang out there. It tends to be my primary hangout more than anything else. Although I lurk like a mofo quite a bit there. That's also where we have a channel for Star Trek Online, where I'm in the Space Game Junkie fleet. You've seen that if you've watched me stream at all. I've been doing that quite a bit, trying to contribute to that as much as I can. So a lot of guys in there. Even done the occasional live stream with others as well, from the community. So all good things there. All good things along the way. But again, since the video has already looped around, I think it's time that I depart. I've rambled on for nearly an hour, and I still need to record other things, and actually it's getting so late now that I'm not going to be able to record anything else, but that's fine. I have a first impressions video all ready to go for Monday that kind of fell out of the loop last week, because I did a few first impressions videos as live streams. I actually enjoyed doing that as a live stream, even though sometimes you don't know what you're going to encounter. But if I stack the deck and have other things that I can play in addition to what I want to look at, I think I can do that maybe once a week as a stream, like denote a time or a day when I just play some indie games or something, and try them out. So perhaps we'll see more of that along the way, and at some point at some point I will get back to Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. I want to start a new game on that and just kind of see if I can do better than what I did before, and not get kind of stuck in a death spiral like I did the first time around. So we'll see on that. We'll see on all those things. Astrox Imperium, I will probably have another stream in soon. That's a hard game to promote because it is very, very slow. You're basically watching Eve at that point, and there's a reason why there aren't too many channels of people putting up videos of Eve online, because there's a lot of like just kind of sitting around and waiting for your ship to go somewhere. But I still enjoy it. So we'll have to see what I can muster up with that, if I can find a day to play that again. You'll be seeing a video of that as well. Yeah, I think that covers all the bases so far. I had debated doing like an end of year thing where I'm like, here's the best games of this year, or even the best games of this decade that I've played. But I don't know. It's kind of corny, and B, I think anyone who's followed the channel for any length of time probably already knows what choices I would make there for that stuff. So I don't think it. I mean, it would be cool to go back and record some footage of those things and you know, put it together, but that is something that really needs to be scripted, and I always kind of fall flat when it comes to scripting things. I want to have some scripted content on the channel because I think it's good. I think it's really good to be able to be concise for a change, rather than just ramble like I always do. But it requires time to sit down and it requires me to sit down and write something, and writing has always been a rough spot for me. I enjoy writing, but it takes me forever and a day to write something up, because when I write it down, I then go back and revise it, and then I revise it, and then I revise it, and then I revise it. And eventually, by the time I get it to a point where I think I like it, I no longer feel like bothering with it. You know, it's like I'm almost there. I'm like 90% of the way there, but I don't feel like putting any more time into it. You know, it's one of those things. I always have that problem. It's why I don't write that many reviews on Steam and stuff like that, because I just get like there's a lot of things I want to say, and I get maybe halfway through it and I'm like, screw it, I don't feel like doing this anymore. You know what I mean? And then I just put it aside because I don't want to put out a half-baked review. And then, you know, the funny thing about that is that's all Steam is half-baked reviews. It's like you get people on there like, game sucked, thumbs down, you know. It's like, oh, thanks for that review, you know. And I'm holding myself to a standard that no one else does, but it's just the way that I roll. So maybe I could break myself of that at some point. We'll see how things flesh out with that. But in any event, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season, regardless of what holiday you celebrate, even if you don't celebrate any. I hope you have an awesome end of the year, an awesome new year. Believe me when I tell you, I want to see the end of 2019 more than anybody else right now. It's been a rough year, particularly if you're a Star Trek fan. We just lost, it just came through today that Renee Azerbaijan, I don't know how to pronounce his name. But the actor who played Odo from Deep Space Nine just died at the age of 79. We lost another Deep Space Nine actor, Aaron Eisenberg, who played Nog a couple months ago, And a couple days ago, we lost DC Fontana, who was the prolific writer of Star Trek. Wrote many, particularly the old original series episodes and whatnot. She died. I don't know how old she was, or what she succumbed to, other than possibly lack of breath. But yeah, it's lost a lot of good people this year as far as Star Trek is concerned. It's been a bit of a Debbie Downer, but you know, besides that and everything else that's happened, 2019 has been a pretty crappy year. There's been some really high highs and a lot of really low lows. Like, it's just been weird, friends, and I'm hopeful that 2020 will be better for everybody, and we'll wait to see. We'll wait to see what happens. But anyway, thanks everybody, and I hope to see you next time.